All right, hello everybody. Chief Meteorologist Hunter Williams here. We are live on KVUE Plus and YouTube and all of our streaming sites to give you the latest on severe weather right now over the northern hill country. So here's a look at the storm I'm tracking. I'll tell you what, this is a mean looking storm which is moving from Llano County into Burnett County. There is a severe thunderstorm warning for these areas, including Lake Victor, and this does not go immediately down into the center of Burnett, but if you live on the north side of Burnett, you are still being impacted by this storm. Main concern here, hail potential. This could be at times up to $half size hail. And also, you can tell by the look of it, it's got kind of that hook to it. We did have a a tornado warning earlier over northern Llano County. This is not imminently producing a tornado, but it's got a hook to it, and this is a storm that is broadly rotating, so I can't completely rule out a tornado down the line with this storm as we continue to watch it carefully. So let's start here with the hail potential. Let's get into our hail tracker, and here it is. Hail right now is going to be right over Lake Buchanan, and this hail core has been kind of cycling up and down. Looks like that was pretty sizable, again maybe $half size as that moved into Bluffton. Now it's over the lake. That's looking more like quarter size hail, but this is going to cross out over on the east side of the lake, move into Burnett County, and it's going to have the potential for quarter to as large as $half size hail. Again, this is going to be just north of Burnett, heading right towards the Lake Victor area right now. That is the way that this is tracking. Let me actually punch up the motion of this, and we can get a storm track going for you guys. Let's see. So here's the latest from the National Weather Service. They're saying 60-mile-per-hour wind gust and $half size hail. Current storm located over Lake Buchanan, moving east at 30. So let's do that. Let's do a storm track, but we're going to do it on the hail core. So here's where the hail is right now. Let's time this out for you, moving east at 30. I'm going to do a track about like this. Again, these are always approximate timings. It's never going to be exactly right, but this will take us east at 30. So that would take this storm into Lake Victor at 7:30. Would take this storm, if it holds together that long, and I do want to be clear, Briggs, you are not currently included in any sort of warning, but if it holds together longer than Briggs and then Ocala around 8:11. That is the situation with this storm. Again, we are streaming on YouTube. We're streaming on Facebook, on KVUE Plus, wherever you are watching us. And again, I do have the streams pulled up, so if you have any comments or any storm reports that you can pass along to us, that would really help us on a day like today. The easiest way for me to see those is just to tweet them to me at Hunt_WX. As far as the folks in the Facebook right now, I do see we have folks watching from Hutto as well as Pflugerville. None of those areas currently under the gun from this storm. Now, we will get back to the current storm in a moment, but I do just want to show you first the bigger picture. Here's the situation right now in Austin. There's no stormy weather. It is just a warm, hazy evening. We hit a high of 101 today in Austin. I see a couple of hail reports coming in from the Tau area too that we'll get to. These are going to be the areas that are favored with storm potential this evening. Okay, here is our storm outlook. The yellow shaded area, that's going to be the highest certainty. Okay, so northern Burnett County, where our current storm is moving in. If it holds together, it could move east across Burnett County and into Williamson County, especially northwestern Williamson County. So maybe not so much for Round Rock, but Georgetown, Andis, Sun City, Florence, Jarrell, these type of areas. If this storm holds together, again, not a guarantee. And then for the Austin area, it is a much lower storm chance, but that marginal risk does go as far south as actually into Mustang Ridge, down to about Wimberley, into southern Blanco County, and down to Fredericksburg. If we were to see another storm or two develop farther south, again, far from a guarantee, but if we were, it could be strong to severe, and overall our evening storm chance is about a 20% or so. Let's get back to our ongoing storm, which is a hail producer right now directly over Lake Buchanan, producing hail quarter to $half size. And what I want to also do is check in on the rotation, especially earlier this thing had broad rotation in it, but that's how our Llano County storm started, and then it tightens up. And, you know, it's not out of the question that you get a tornado from time to time. So they just updated the severe thunderstorm warning, and they are continuing to not use the tag tornado possible. So as of now, the National Weather Service in Austin and San Antonio is not seeing tornado potential here. They're mainly concerned about the hail. In fact, the most recent update is saying hail has decreased in size, so a quarter size. We did have a report near Tau from 6:58 just 5 minutes ago of hail that was quarter size. But there is some broad rotation in this thing. The broad rotation right now is just north of Buchanan Dam in this general area. This is where we've got broad rotation north of Buchanan Dam over the lake, so we'll keep a close eye on that. But again, as of now, we do not have an imminent tornado concern, but we do have a concern for some straight line winds over the lake right now into Buchanan Dam, and also the potential for hail that could be up to about quarter size. Here's the hail path on this storm. What I want to do, let's actually go to the outer box here. What I want to do is show you the hail history with this. So this is not the current hail, but this is the hail over the past 2 hours. You can see at times when you start getting into that darker blue, that's going to be the $half size hail, if not a little bit larger. And I can turn on some of the hail reports, and you're going to see one of those that came in from the Tau area. And this is actually, the Tau area was up on the far northern edge of this, interestingly. But we did have a report there of a quarter size hail. I wonder if that was actually from one of the earlier storms. So here again is our storm. Severe thunderstorm warning does go into Llano County. Does not include Burnett proper, but it's close, you know, just north of town through up to the Lampasas County line. That is our warning right now. It continues until 7:30, so another 25 minutes from now. Keeping an eye on Twitter and Facebook and YouTube and all of our streaming sites here. Again, if you guys have any reports, please let us know here. Folks are asking, what about Austin? So let's get into some of the model data first through the rest of this evening. If you want to know what it looks like in Austin right now, here you go. It is just warm and it is hazy. This is actually our Kalahari cam. I have it pointed straight upwards because earlier we had some mammatus clouds developing on the underside of this big thunderstorm anvil. So the storms themselves way up north, but those storms, at least the cloud tops, have blown farther southeast, and on the underside of that we did have mammatus clouds. But let's hop into the latest model data. First, what I want to do is actually see if our high-res model has a little bit better of an idea. So this is we call it the HRR model, the high-res rapid refresh. And what it does is it updates every hour. Sometimes that is very helpful, but sometimes it really fails to initialize properly. And look, if models don't know where the storms currently are, well, guess what? They don't know where they're going. I've not looked at this model data, so let's take this with a couple of grains of salt and we'll see what it is showing together. That is pretty uneventful. It has weakening storms. Obviously, we can tell that current storms are overachieving relative to what that model was showing. So here's our other model, our graph model, which is also not doing very well because it has storms which currently are over Lake Buchanan, over Williamson County. These areas are not seeing storms. So this, unfortunately, is just going to be a night where the models are not super useful for us, but I think this is going to show the greatest potential again. Ultimately, northern Burnett County, northern Williamson, maybe into Milam. And then this model actually has some redevelopment across the hill country, drifting towards Austin, closer to 9 or 10. I'm pretty skeptical of that, but we theoretically can't rule out 1 or 2 storms developing south of the existing weather. But again, this yellow shaded zone, this is by far going to be the greater likelihood of seeing severe storms. By the way, it is still incredibly warm outside. It is 95. That feels like 105 this evening in Austin. Okay, let's hop back into our radar data here, and we'll check back in with our storm and where exactly the hail core is. It's been centered kind of right over Lake Buchanan right now, and that looks like it might be intensifying again. So here we go. We've got hail core right now directly over Lake Buchanan. Likely some pretty sizable hailstones splashing down in the water there. Let's see what the hail tracker is picking up on now. Yeah, it looks like the hail core has ticked up a little bit. So last update from the National Weather Service was hail quarter size. I would say this is quarters to $half now. Quarters to $half right over Lake Buchanan, and it's going to move out on the east side of the lake, and it's going to head towards Lake Victor. and it's going to head towards the 281 corridor, and it's going to impact northern areas of Burnett. That is where this is heading, and I'll let you kind of see the way that this is trending, and you can kind of pick out where exactly you live. No further updates from the National Weather Service. Again, this is a storm that does have some weak rotation associated with it, but no imminent concern for a tornado. Latest update was a severe thunderstorm warning. Radar indicated hail, quarter-inch and 60-mile-per-hour straight-line winds possible. Just out of curiosity, let's keep tabs on our rotation here, and it is still broad, but it's still there. Broadly rotating storm. The rotation, circle it for you, is right up here, right just north of Buchanan Dam. That is where the broad rotation is right now. If you weren't watching earlier, there was a tornado warning over northern Llano County. The warning itself did include the town of Llano, but the rotation did not impact town there, fortunately. No reports that touched down. I do not think that it did, but it was an enhanced area of spin, and we can't rule out another brief tornado warning or two through the rest of this evening as the storm continues to roll through. All right. So here's our storm. It's right over the lake right now. That's where the heaviest rain is. It is raining in Burnett right now, but the hail core is on track to pass just north of Burnett. Okay, but if you will be, or if you know anybody that will be driving 281 between Burnett and Lake Victor, give them a heads up. Hopefully they can get out of the way of this storm, as it is a hail producer. We don't want anybody driving through this storm. Yeah, seeing notes here in the National Weather Service chat from Derek, emergency management officials there in Burnett County. They're asking about the rotation. Again, it is broad, but I'm sure the National Weather Service is keeping a close eye on this, as are we. Pulling up the streams here, and we'll see if we've got any reports coming in, or if there's any questions that you guys have. Again, the main storm chance is going to be over the northern tier of our area through this evening rather than the Austin area. It looks likely that Austin does stay dry and avoid stormy weather through this evening, but it's not a complete guarantee. Rhonda says, wish we had some of that. The rain part, yes. The half-dollar size hail, probably not. Speaking of, let's see what kind of rainfall accumulations we've got. Hey, this is good. Let's get this going into Lake Buchanan. Again, I hate that the price you got to pay this time of the year to get some rain is to endure hail and a couple of tornado warnings. But we do have some good radar estimated rainfall totals here over far northern Llano County and now working into northwestern Burnett County. 1.5, yeah, take it. North edge of the lake, 1.7, perfect. Let's get that flowing into Lake Buchanan. Our lake's still really struggling. In fact, we got a new update to our drought monitor today, and some of the drought conditions east of I-35 are actually starting to worsen again. I know we had all of that rain back several weeks ago, but now it's been just, hot, humid weather without as much rain. And just real quickly, I'll touch on the heat for you guys. You may have missed this. We had a heat advisory today. But that was upgraded this evening really to an excessive heat warning. This is going to expire at 8 p.m. But excessive heat warnings, we had a few of these last year, but these I don't want to say are entirely rare, but are fairly uncommon. Even here in Austin, you need a heat index of 113 or higher for an excessive heat warning, and we had the heat index in Austin today was as high as 112. Look, I mean, these are the numbers right now. It's cloudier and the sun's going down. It still feels like 105 right now in Austin, but this also plays into our severe weather potential. When you're this warm, you're this humid, obviously you've got the juice for storms to form. But right now we've only really got one of them, and it is over northern Burnett County. Here's a closer look. Looks like a little bit of, I'd call that more of a shower than anything. Moving over northern Llano County, the atmosphere in that area is probably pretty worked over, so I'm not too concerned about that. Main issue is, again, just this storm, which is broadly rotating and is producing quarter to half-dollar size hail, which is approaching the 281 corridor from Burnett up to Lake Victor. In fact, this is kind of hooking down to the south. We've seen this with a couple of these storms where they get going east, and then that rotation kind of tightens up and they hook down to the south a little bit. So we'll watch this carefully. Again, Burnett, as of now, you're on track for the hail to pass to your north, but we're going to need to keep an eye on some of the chaotic movement to this storm. TJ, is Liberty Hill in the path of this storm? Not at the moment. Now, it is very likely that this storm passes north of Liberty Hill. But it is going to be, at least in play for you. I think that the worst of this storm is going to pass to the north, but here, punch that back up just so you can see the marker again. There's Liberty Hill, not currently included in this warning. If it did kind of hook down to the south, it may impact Liberty Hill, but I would say the most likely scenario right now is that this storm, at least the brunt of it, stays to the north. But for Burnett into Bertram, these areas are starting to get into some rain now. Some new scans coming in. Let me check in with the National Weather Service. Again, some of the emergency management officials there. We're watching some rotation there over Buchanan Dam. So here's Derek, who is one of the emergency management officials there in Burnett County, is saying, said, what about the rotation forming by Buchanan Dam? National Weather Service said there's definitely a consistent signal there through multiple elevation angles from GRK, which is our Granger radar. They say the circulation remains relatively broad at the moment, but they are watching closely. Although here just at 7:12, they say latest frame looks a little bit better. Oh, interesting. So they're saying there's a little bit of, we call this side lobe contamination. They're saying the true circulation is northwest of the dam. Yeah, so this is kind of technical here, but hey, why not? We got time. Here, I'm going to pop over to the wall real quick just to explain this to you guys, just so I can kind of point out some stuff. Here, I'm going to punch up, let's go max 1 in the wall. I will walk over there. Give me one moment. Again, the bottom line is there's not an imminent tornado threat, but this is a storm that is broadly circulating. All right, let me head on over here. Do a little walk across the studio. So they're talking about side lobe contamination. So if you're looking here at the velocity, this would kind of jump off at you. You've got the greens and reds here, and you'd think, hey, this might be the couplet. When in reality, if you look at the reflectivity, it's actually the case that the circulation is a little farther northwest than it's this, which again is kind of broad and a much weaker area of circulation. This is just kind of a radar artifact. Again, we call it side lobe contamination. So it looks like there's a little bit of broader rotation here. Really, the part of the storm that's rotating is here. And when you look at that, it's a much weaker area of rotation. So that does not mean we're not watching it. We're certainly watching it for you. But as of now, again, I'm in complete agreement with the National Weather Service. Broadly rotating storm, but it's not anything imminent as of now. Hail is the main concern with this. Speaking of, hail core coming down a little bit. Hope that continues, and hopefully it's just some rain over northern Burnett County. This, again, is producing hail that at times has been quarter to $half size. I would say it is smaller than that now, probably dime to quarter size is what we are tracking right now. Let's do a little bit of exploration on our Skycam network here as we I'll leave the storm up for you guys just so you can see where it is, and we'll do a double box here, and we'll go double box with the Skycam. So let's go in outer box, and we'll go max 1 and then our router 1, and we'll take that for you. Okay, so that, it looks like, is our Kalahari cam, which I have pointed directly vertical into the clouds. That's not very helpful. Let's pan that down. So looking here from Round Rock, we're going to get kind of obscured. Here's actually a better view from our Oasis cam. Let me punch that up for you guys. Let's go Oasis. We'll toss that in router 1. So here's our Oasis cam. Let's actually just go full with that. As you can see, we are looking across Lake Travis to the northwest, and you can see just the side there of the thunderstorm anvil. Pretty beautiful. We've got these hazy conditions, distant thunderstorms, some mammatus clouds. It's been some pretty skies. That is kind of the edge of the storm right there. And that's going to be, I'm looking around, I'll hop onto our tower cam as well. Let's go, we'll put that in router 2 and we'll punch that up. So that's Oasis. Here's tower cam. And it might just be kind of obscured here. It's just so hazy, and we've got the cloud blow off that's made it down to the southeast, so we might not get a good vantage point on it. We'll just kind of pan around just in case, see what we can find. Yeah, I just don't know if we're going to get a good angle on this. Yeah. Yep, just don't think we're going to be able to get too good of a vantage point on it, but it's pretty though. I think, there we go. I think we're getting the side of it there. So that's the same look that we had from the Oasis cam. There's the side, at least, of that storm. But so far here in Austin this evening, it is just warm and hazy, and that is about it. Let's see. Lisa, is there a tornado on the ground? No, absolutely not. Again, there is not an imminent tornado threat. This is a severe thunderstorm warning, mainly hail driven, and even the hail potential as of now is coming down in intensity, Lisa. So I do not have a tornado concern here. I'm watching broad rotation, but I am not concerned about a tornado imminently. All right, getting more questions about Liberty Hill and Cedar Park. Let's talk about Williamson County, and let's go kind of down the line here. I'll toss back into the boxes, and let's go. I'll pop in here to the top left, and we'll show you what we're tracking. So let's get back into the bigger picture. Man, it's still 93 in Georgetown. It's 95 in Austin. San Marcos was just swampy today, 97. Okay, so what about Cedar Park? The short answer for you guys in Cedar Park, as well as Liberty Hill and Leander. I know you guys in Williamson County start getting storms in Burnett, and you guys normally are next up. I'll zoom in so you can see Cedar Park here. Let's let this pop up. But you can see that this storm is on track to largely stay north. I think this would be more of a concern for Bertram. Liberty Hill, we will need to keep an eye on it. If it does dive south, I would say Liberty Hill more so than Cedar Park. Liberty Hill more so than Cedar Park, but right now it's moving into Burnett, so it's doing kind of that southerly trend to it, but hopefully this thing kind of weakens down. The hail core has certainly come down in intensity. This thing is barely producing any hail right now. But we also continue to watch some of that broad rotation. Yeah, that's looking super broad now. Yeah, just very broadly rotating. Again, nothing in there is saying, hey, tornado. Definitely not the case. So overall, the storm is weakening. And interestingly, it's starting to move kind of on the southern edge of this warning. The warning goes until 7:30, so another 8 minutes from now. We'll stay on and see what they decide to do with that. And I'd imagine the National Weather Service will make a decision on that shortly. Again, Liberty Hill, hey, I'll tell you, it is kind of following the southern edge of the trajectory here. This is a storm that's in play for Liberty Hill. If it drifts down southeast enough, it could impact Liberty Hill, but hopefully even if it does, this weakening trend continues and you just get some rain out of it rather than hail, because the hail potential has really come down with this. But as far as Austin and, Round Rock, and again, folks were asking about, Cedar Park and places like that. Again, this is looking like a lower storm chance for you guys. Yeah, Lisa, didn't mean to scare you guys. There was a tornado warning earlier for Llano County. That was a while ago, though, so no longer any imminent concern for a tornado. Let's see what they're saying in the NWS chat. No further updates again this warning. Pull up the numbers for you. Warning goes until 7:30. 8 minutes more. We'll see what they do. Hey, actually some cool shots here. Check this out. Nice little sunset view from our tower cam. Here's nearly the identical view, just a little farther down the road in our Oasis cam. Beautiful shot there. As we have a distant view of this storm, which is has been a hail producer. Hail potential is coming down. Here's a note as of 1 minute ago. They say we continue to watch the southwest portion of the storm closely. Area of weak circulation is now just east of Buchanan Dam. So let's get in and analyze that. Again, they're saying weak circulation. I don't want to concern anybody and say that we've got anything imminent here, but you know the way these storms work, you want to watch the trends and see how everything is behaving. So let's get into velocity. Yep, again, it's weak rotation. Interesting. It looks like okay, so here's a new severe thunderstorm warning. Let's see what they do there. Okay, so here's the update. New severe thunderstorm warning. This one is going to include the tag tornado possible. I'll take this full so I don't block out the box. This does include the tag tornado possible. Again, that does not mean a tornado is occurring. There's not a tornado warning, but it means it is a storm that's rotating broadly, so they are watching areas of rotation there. The area of rotation is between Buchanan Dam and Burnett and is on track to move towards Burnett. So if you live in Burnett, you are now under a severe thunderstorm warning, mainly a hail concern. Let me punch up the hail potential here. Let's see what they're showing. They're saying quarter-size hail and that this storm is moving southeast at 35. Okay, so Liberty Hill, friends, this storm has in fact taking a little drop down to the southeast, so Liberty Hill will be in play here. Again, not a guarantee, you'll have to watch it, but Liberty Hill is in play for this storm. Keeping an eye on some of the notifications here to make sure we're not missing anything. All the Twitter dings are going off. Now, I apologize, I got my volume on. I know that's annoying. Just the best way when I'm doing these streams, I don't want to get carried away and miss anything. But severe thunderstorm warning, hail up to quarter size, and broad rotation, meaning a tornado can't be ruled out. That's until 8 p.m., and this includes Burnett and Bertram. This is the storm. We're getting some new hail reports. 5 miles northeast of Buchanan Dam, hail report of 1 inch in diameter. That is quarter-sized hail over Lake Buchanan. Okay, so we are moving southeast at 35. Let's do a new storm track on this. Tracing this forward. So this is going to be, let's do it on the hail core. Let's see what that's looking like. That's fairly mundane hail core. Again, I would say that that's up to quarter size. It might be a little bit less than that. Let's draw about like this. Let's go. The meat of the storm is kind of back here. So here's kind of an estimation. It's moving at a decent clip. So again, if it holds together, Liberty Hill would be in the path of this now based on the southeast trajectory of this storm, and it would bring a hail threat. And again, we're watching the potential for some very broad minor rotation. Can't rule out that tightens up from time to time and maybe it tries to drop a tornado. Not happening right now, but we'll watch it. But more urgently, it's Burnett where the storm is moving in now. Bertram, you're in the path of this, and Oatmeal. These areas over Burnett County are included, and if it holds together and stays on this current path, then it will move into places like Liberty Hill. Could impact Leander. Again, that's a lower chance. We'll have to wait and see how this holds together. Now that the sun's going down, hopefully we start to see these storms lose some juice, but it is tracking towards Liberty Hill, and then beyond that, if it holds together, it could impact Leander because this thing has decided to move a little bit more to the southeast now. The heart of the storm really is right now over Burnett. So Burnett, Gandy, 281 corridor, all of these areas right along 29, running out to Bertram. Continue to watch the velocity, which is broad, but you know, from time to time, there's that scan. It looks a little bit healthier. It is broad rotation. And really there's a new update. Yeah, it's just very broad. Again, this is I don't want to go in there and circle anything and make it look more impressive than it is, but whoa, I apologize. This is the part of the storm kind of back in here, this southwest quarter of the storm. This is the part that's trying to rotate. Again, this is not tight. This is not producing a tornado right now, but that broad rotation is going to pass over Burnett. Could be some breezy straight line winds in there too. And then the hail potential, this is going to be, I would say, dime to quarter size hail right now over Burnett. So as this is moving into town, let us know if you have any reports. Here in the last 1 minute, Andrew at the National Weather Service says storm appears to be transitioning once more. Area of weak inflow is apparent to the immediate west of Burnett. Nothing too impressive as of now. Yep, spot on. Broad rotation. It's trying to suck some wind in there, but this is very broad right now. But just got to keep an eye on things when you've got these broadly rotating storms. It doesn't take but 1 or 2 scans for them to get their act together and drop a tornado. And that is why it is a severe thunderstorm warning, tornado possible. Another report, quarter-inch hail along with some half-inch hail, Green Mile at 281 in Burnett County. That is from emergency management officials there. Sylvia, will Austin get anything? For the metro, it is a much lower storm chance, but this storm has tried to dive down to the southeast. So places like Liberty Hill and Leander, we do want to watch this. As of now, though, it looks like this will be more of a Williamson County storm as opposed to a Travis County storm. I do not expect that this storm will impact Austin. And again, the most likely outcome is that Austin stays completely dry. But if a storm can develop a little farther southward, it could be a strong to severe. It's been a while since we've shown this. I'll get back to our SPC outlook. And that yellow shaded area, which is where we are coincidentally currently seeing storms, that's going to be the favored area for storm development. But you can see Austin is in that green shading, which is the marginal risk. That goes actually down to southern Travis and a Bastrop into Hayes County. In that area, we can't completely rule out 1 or 2 storms, but mainly it's going to be the storm over Burnett County, moving into Williamson County, and I think staying north of most of the Austin metro. David, why are we under a heat warning? I'll show you exactly why. This is why. It feels like it's 105 right now, and it is coming up on 8 o'clock. Heat index values tomorrow could be 108 to even as high as 114. Big time heat. And that's the situation. It's just so warm and humid. We've had these small kind of 10 and 20% storm chances where most don't see storms, but when you've got this much instability and this much warmth built up, storms that do develop can easily become strong to severe. All right, so here's our Burnett County storm. Severe thunderstorm warning, tornado possible until 8 p.m. Hail, probably P to quarter size hail, is right over Burnett right now, and that kind of syncs up with some of the reports from emergency management officials there. We continue to watch broad rotation. Nothing imminent, but just to show you. Again, we did have a tornado warning over Llano County earlier, so we just got to keep an eye on storms in this type of environment. A few new hail reports coming in. Let me show you guys that. Here's current hail. And we will toss on the reports. You could see kind of the history of this, dropping a couple of hail reports. Latest one coming from 4 miles northeast of Inks Lake State Park. Hail of quarter size is the report there. And there you go, 724 inch diameter hail. That is quarter size. Twitter pic of quarter size hail 4 miles west of Burnett. And now again, I would say it is up to quarter size. It's kind of P to quarter size hail that right now is over Burnett and Gandy. There's that new report that just came in, which is immediately in Burnett. So looks like that's right there in town, and that's going to be hail, also probably quarter size. Let's see. Yep, up to an inch in diameter hail right now in Burnett, confirmed from reports there. Couple new hail reports coming in. Those are all from this storm, which is right now over Burnett. Heavy rain in Burnett too. Tell you what. Again, if this storm holds together, it's on track to head over 29 and into the Bertram area. That is where this storm is heading right now. Get more reports of mammatus clouds sent in. I tweeted one earlier. Could see them from our Round Rock Skycam. Looks like Round Rock and Leander, those were the areas that had the mammatus sightings. Chad in the Facebook is saying it is early summer. Yeah, these are, again, look, the last person that needs to sit here and tell you, summer's hot in Texas, it turns out. But especially to be getting this type of heat in June rather than July or August, that is notable. Last year, I believe the hottest temperature that we had in the month of June was 105. I've got some numbers above that on my forecast. Again, we're looking at, records. A lot of those records from back in the brutal summer of 2011. I think we're 105 tomorrow in Austin. Sunday is going to be 105 and then 106 for Monday and Tuesday of next week. And the humidity is going to stick around for sure. Hey, just got a $50 hail report size from Burnett. So it could be quarter to $50 size hail right now that is over Burnett. Let me get back to the radar for you. A temporary distraction with the heat. All right, so here is our Burnett County storm, which is now producing quarter to as much as $50 size hail in Burnett. It's heading towards Bertram. Right along 29. If you know anybody driving 29 between Burnett and Bertram, tell them to pull off and let the storm pass. Chad, what's with all the haze over the past couple of days? Great question. We have agricultural burning going on in Mexico, and this is our smoke forecast, which will kind of show you this. So if we get this right, south-southwest wind aloft, you can see it blows smoke from, again, those agricultural fires into Texas, and we're going to stay in this pattern. Tomorrow's looking hazy again. So it's mainly smoke from agricultural fires in Mexico. Also, though, there is such thing as haze from just really high humidity. You just get that kind of hazy, humid look. I think that is at play too, but mainly it is smoke coming in from agricultural fires. What can the Briggs and Florence area expect? Let's talk about our friends over northern Williamson County. You guys are in the path of this storm, but again, it just kind of depends on if this, well, take that back, Briggs, it does look like this might kind of squeeze past you to the south, but it's going to be close. Again, the movement has been just kind of tricky to nail down. At times it's due east, and then it goes southeast, and then it goes east again. I would say, though, it does look like Briggs, the worst of the storm, is going to pass you to the south. And for Florence, it may end up being the same deal. I do think, though, in Briggs and Florence, you are going to catch some rain on the northern side of this. Hail core continues to weaken. Hey, the other option is this thing weakens down. That is possible. But just because it doesn't look too impressive on the hail tracker. Again, we had many reports come in of a $1/4 to $1/2 size hail in Burnett. So this thing is producing hail, but generally speaking, the trend does look to be kind of a weakening trend. Good news is the rotation signature is coming down, and it looks like they're trimming this warning a little bit. Okay, so they have removed the tornado possible tag. Again, the rotational signature there is not looking the same as what we had earlier. I don't see any sort of, we didn't ever have an imminent tornado threat with this storm, but especially now, I'm not very concerned about it. This is going to be a hail threat. Let's see if they've adjusted the hail size. Severe thunderstorm located near Oatmeal or near Bertram, moving east at 40. Well, they're still saying $1/2 size hail. Yeah, as large as $1/2 size hail. Locations impacted include Burnett, Bertram, and Oatmeal. But not as much of a straight line wind threat with this particular storm, and again, the rotation is not as pronounced. Our system is showing that hail core really start to weaken now on approach to Bertram, but Bertram, I would still take your hail precautions. Again, if you got a way to just get the car inside or anything sensitive outside that you don't want to get hailed on, I would bring that in. Right now, again, maybe the hail core weakens, but just to be on the safe side. Yeah, Keon is saying it looks like it's weakening. I agree. Yeah, this is a weakening storm at this point, but the way that these things work is they'll weaken and then they'll pulse back up, so it's not a guarantee that it continues the weakening trend. However, I do think this is going to hold together long enough to make a little bit of a run there at western Williamson County. Again, doesn't make it to Liberty Hill, not a guarantee, but it's going to try to approach the 183 corridor there over northwestern Williamson County. Hopefully the hail potential ends by then. More quarter-size hail reports coming in from Burnett, so numerous. We've now got 5 or 6 reports from when this thing moved into Burnett of $1/4 and then $1/2 size hail report. But it does look like the hail size is coming down a little bit, but technically the verbiage of the severe thunderstorm warning is hail that could be up to $1/2 size. Meanwhile, a couple of really nice views. I mean, how about that? Sun is out over Lake Travis. Well, sun is setting, but you get the idea. Clear sky. Hey, really pretty right now from our tower cam, kind of pointed out west. Beautiful. What we can do, let's here we'll do a mixture of storms and positive. Let's hop into the 3 box here. We'll go max 1 in the big box. We'll go cam 4, and then we'll toss router 1 in there, and we'll just kind of keep an eye on everything for you. Checking through some of the reports. Hey, seeing a report here from Burnett County WX, a big Twitter account that follows the weather in Burnett. They've got a pretty good, that looks like maybe golf ball size hail. They said moments ago, this was 30 minutes ago, but from over Lake Buchanan from that storm. Give that a retweet. Just checking up here on some of the Twitter reports. Our old colleague Chris Nunley, who now works in Seattle, he's been tweeting about some of these storms. Good to hear from him. Just perusing some of the social media reports. Again, it does appear that this storm is very quickly on the downtrend. Hail core really coming down. This produced $1/4 to $1/2 size hail in Burnett, and now it looks like it's might not be producing hail at all on approach to Bertram. But Bertram, again, just to be safe, hopefully you've already got the car somewhere protected. I'd continue that. But hopefully this continues to weaken on approach to Bertram, and then after that, if it holds together, it will cross from Burnett County into Williamson County. Hey, good news. They have allowed the warning to expire. So I think what we'll do here, as this storm is certainly weakening on approach to Williamson County, so we'll probably pop off of here. And I'll leave you with just the radar loop, and if we need to, of course, we'll hop back on. But things certainly appear to be heading in the right direction, and it's very possible that this could be our last storm of the evening. Now that the sun's going down, we're starting to lose some of the instability that brought us the storms earlier, the strong storms earlier, and some of the cap is building back in for tonight. So I will let you go. Real quickly, just I'll show you this, and then it's going to be the radar loop. Our storm is no longer severe, but it is bringing some heavy rain and maybe a little bit of small, very small hail into Bertram. If this holds together, you are getting a little bit of light rain in Liberty Hill. This is heading towards Andis and Liberty Hill right now. But very quickly weakening. It's possible this thing might not be long for itself as it gets into Williamson County. I will hop back on here if needed. I'll get you to the radar loop. Y'all have a great night, and I will see you guys on KVUE News at 10 o'clock.